I was about creating my first TFS 2015 on Windows Azure, but I started facing some problem because I don't have a good experience with Windows Azure right now. So I start facing some problems about the credit, and it seems that I will run out of credit very soon. As we can see, I lost about 600 krona. It almost about $100 in just a few days because I use a high configuration hardware for my machine, and of course this is because I'm still not familiar with the cost and computer hours. So, and if we can see here that my credit will be enough to for 5 days because I consume about 75 kronas per day. So I just thought about, of course I could reduce the configuration of the machine, but I just thought it's better to have a good configuration. Then I thought it's better to find a way to close the machine to reduce the computer hours. Then I need to make a schedule to close and open the machine. Of course I may downgrade the configuration to be little bit, but also it's more important to remember that sometimes if you downgrade to not from the standard to the basic, sometimes you can't go for the standard again. So I didn't want to read too much about that, so I thought it's better to start on first. I don't need this machine, so okay, let's close it with the automation. So I thought how to create an automation to close virtual machines and to reopen them in a particular time. So at the beginning I need to create to go to the Active Directory, and here in the default Active Directory I tried to add some domains, but this is from the old time, but they are not verified because I don't have a actual domain for them. But here I will start adding a user, and this user will be a user in the organization, and this user will be for the PowerShell, and this is the domain, the default domain, and the first name will be Power, second name will be Shell, PowerShell user, and the role will be a global admin because I need to use this role in automation and run the automation for the PowerShell. And here I need to put some email, so I will put my email. This is another email, and because I'm using for automation, then I should not using this enable multi-factor authentication. So, and here then I will create, this will create a temporary password, and this is the temporary password. Then I will copy that password. Now the user is created. Let's go to change the password, PowerShell, and then add Mohammed. This is the password. Yes, and then it should ask me for changing the password, and I will just put my new password. Then just updating the password. So now it should has the new password. Then I successfully created this user on the Active Directory, and if we click on this user, we can see this is the information of the users. Okay, then I need to go to the settings and to the administrators, then start add MSF hotmail.on.microsoft.com. Yes, great. And then I will associate that with the MSDN subscription, my MSDN subscription. Then I will enter. So this account now is a co-administrator and they can run some automation on the Windows Azure. Okay, after that I need to go to the automation, and in the automation I will start to create a new automation. So I will say automation 1, region it will be Western Europe. Now creating my first automation. So as I have the automation, I will start creating asset first, and this asset will be credentials, and the credential type will be PowerShell credentials. I can say this PowerShell credential to automate some PowerShell script. This is the username. On Microsoft.com. This is the password. Of course, this is the new password that I changed. So now I succeeded to create these PowerShell credentials. This will be used to run some Runbooks. Then I will go to the Runbooks and start creating a Runbooks. I will click on New, and then in the automation select Runbook from category, and here we will find many of the useful PowerShell scripts. Let's go for VM lifecycle, and I can see here stopping the VM. So it is a community power scripts. So here I will just add a run book so we can remember. Automation account, it will be for the automation one, and this is a subscription. And now I have my first run book, which include that how some PowerShell script or a PowerShell script that will execute it to stop the virtual machine. So first, let me add a schedule to run that, and to do that I need to go to the asset and also start creating a schedule. Let's say this stop VM, and here schedule, so we know that it's better. This one time, no, it will be daily, because this will need to run every time, and this will run every day at 12 o'clock. This is good for now to shut down all the machines. So now I successfully create a schedule. This is my schedule. So let's go for the Runbook, and as we can see here the Runbook, but of course this is not associated with any schedule yet. So let's go for the Runbook. Stop all VM and then author. So as we can see, this is the default script, but in this script it should obtain the credentials, because in order to this script to run it needs an authority and credentials to so it can process the script. And this credential also need not any credential, but at least a co-administrator credentials. So in this part, I will, because now I have an asset, and I saved the credential, which is PowerShell credential that I created earlier. Then I will just obtain this credential and start using them to execute the PowerShell. So here I will set PowerShell credential, and here I will retrieve the credentials, and to make sure that my script is running successfully, I will delete all of that. Right dot okay, this should be, then it should retrieve the credential and print out in the output pane, and this is the credential as we can see. Okay, so now as we successfully retrieve the credentials, we need to start paste the old part that we just deleted from here. So I'll just try to we don't need these right now, because this is the PowerShell credentials. And here I will just retrieve my subscription, and my subscription name is Visual Studio Ultimate with MSDN. This is my credential, and then here I will get all the virtual machine, and for each parallel, because I just want to run them, and because I don't want to close our virtual machine, I will just leave the domain controller, or at least one machine. So I will, if we get back to I have here the domain controller, and this is the least hardware configuration used, so I will let this without closing that. And this also could help me to preserve the IPs for the whole services, because I need to leave at least one machine running, and this is the least hardware configuration. So I will just change this script a little bit. So I will just put an if condition. I will just check to make sure if it is the domain controller, I will not close the machine because I want to keep it. So I will make my condition here. I just write the condition to be. So if the machine name is, let's say it is equal or not equal, then it will just go and just doing all that. And it should do that. Okay, I think this should be the service name. Service name. Then it should stop. So let's try to run this script and see what will happen. Okay, yes. So this should retrieve all the virtual machine and iterate over them and check if it is the domain, then it will not stop the machine, but if it is, then it will stop the machine. So let's look at the machine now, and if they are going to change the status and stop. All of them now is deallocated except the domain controller. So now I know that my script working well. All I need to do is just save, of course, and then after saving, then publish the script. Now I can go to, I have this published, and we can see the state here of the Runbook is published. I can go to the automation. Yes, it should be on the Runbook itself, on the schedule, I select the runbook and schedule, and here I will link the runbook to an existing schedule. And here I have my schedule, so I select that. So now it linked to the runbook, it linked to the schedule, so the runbook will run in this schedule. It will stop all the machine. Now I need to create another runbook that start the machine in a specific time. So I will close all the machine except the domain controller in the evening, and I will open them at the morning before the working hours. Of course, this is a testing environment, but I'm talking if we really need to save some money in the credits. Okay, thank you.